Aye, Captain, I'm looking forward to taking leave on Nova Atar. The museum there is supposed to be quite excellent. Lots of antique and one-of-a-kind machinery.
Commander, are you certain it's not the Kazakhstanian cognac you're looking forward to?
Do they make that there, laddie? I don't know.
Why, Mr. Scott, I'm surprised at you, not knowing the location of a famous distillery.
We invented that brandy, you know.
Right.
Of course you did.
No, really. We did.
No one would ever doubt you, Ensign, however...
Sorry to interrupt, Captain, but we have an emergency call from the science vessel Demeter. She's in orbit around Balkos 3.
On screen.
Captain Kirk, good to see you're in the area.
You have an emergency, Commander Gelman?
Well, I'm not sure, actually. Maybe more of a case of better safe than sorry. We're orbiting Balkos 3 to study the Balkosi, a race of people just entering their own Stone Age. We've only been here 2 days. Already, we've found some unusual data. But just a few minutes ago, during the deep geologic probing phase, we were suddenly scanned.
Scanned? I thought the Balkosi were just developing.
They are, Captain. And there haven't been any indications of old civilizations until now. The scan was also of extreme power. Following that, we detected a power source coming online. We'll send the coordinates along with all the other information we've gathered. I was a little concerned that we triggered an old defense mechanism. With the amount of information it pulled in its scan, we'd be an easy target. I've moved the Demeter to a higher orbit on the far side of the planet.
Quite reasonable, Commander. We're on our way.
Thank you, Captain.
Kirk out.
Approaching Balkos 3, Captain.
Entering standard orbit.
I have the coordinates for the power source the Demeter detected.
Spock, come with me. Scotty, you have the con. Lieutenant, ask Dr. McCoy to meet us in the transporter room.
Yes, Captain?
What the devil was that? An attack?
While I cannot guarantee a lack of physical change, Doctor, we seem to be unharmed. I therefore conclude we have been scanned.
Captain, are you all right? Sensors detected a burst of power followed by some sort of powerful transmission.
According to Spock, we're in perfect health, Scotty.
According to Spock?
Never mind, Mr. Scott. Can you track the transmission to its destination?
I'll give it a try, Captain, but it's like nothing I've ever seen before.
It never is, Mr. Scott. It never is. Kirk out.
I guess you were right, Spock. Here I thought we were dead for a second.
Doctor, that would have made conversation quite difficult.
I was making a joke, Spock.
Were you, Doctor?
Gentlemen, I believe we have some business at hand.
This place looks like Spock's dream world, doesn't it, Jim?
In what way, Bones?
No decorations, no life, nothing but machinery. Not even a picture of his mother on the wall.
A picture of my mother here would be most surprising. However, if you are suggesting that construction was performed in an efficient manner, I would agree with your most logical conclusion.
Remind me to check my blood for green tinges when we get back to the ship, Jim.
I cannot get an accurate reading, Captain, due to a force field. However, it appears to be a transmitter. It is an unknown piece of equipment inside an energy field. Nothing unusual about that object, Captain. The mineral compounds in the star are not native to the surrounding regions, which indicates that it has been imported.
How can you be sure, Spock?
It is extremely similar to synthetic corn blue sapphire.
Oh.
This star is made from native minerals and shows a propensity to emit low-level light. It shows a high degree of machining, Captain. The energy field around this scanning device prevents a detailed examination.
Circuitry controlling the door.
Quite simple, considering the appearance of the other machinery here. All that was needed was a power interrupt. The doors will only stay closed while power is on. Interesting. Captain, this appears to be a distributive optic node.
If you say so, Mr. Spock.
This unit is manufacturing electrochemical energy storage devices in an inert state.
In English, Spock?
That was English, Captain.
I think he means uncharged batteries, Jim.
This unit is manufacturing miniature broadcast circuitry. This unit is manufacturing miniature broadcast circuitry. This machine seems to be controlling the manufacturing units.
We got hit with a power surge. It's interfering with sensors and we might have some trouble locking onto you.
Well, if we intend on taking our shore leave with the rest of the crew, we'd better find out what's causing that power surge.
A high-pressure device for joining two objects.
Fascinating, Captain. Yet another grouping of shapes. Note the one on the floor and the side of the manufacturing unit. I do not understand their significance yet, but the builders seem to have some obsession with identifying each room with a symbol and placing it repeatedly within each room. The bin contains small plastic discs, Captain. The plastic is essentially inert in this form. However, if placed under pressure, it will become a superconductor capable of storing significant energy compared to its size. It will break down over time. That is why it is commonly stored in this state.
Probably should hang on to a few, don't you think?
A logical choice. Captain, these items appear to be configured to produce a small energy field of some sort. They do not appear to be powered at this time.
Why don't you see what you can do with them, Spock?
That would seem to be a logical thing to do. I will take enough for all of us.
Spock, is that a switch?
Yes, a fairly simple switching device, Captain.
Spock, any idea what this box is?
The cube contains control circuitry. I suggest we keep it.
Spock, what do you make of these?
This appears to be a set of interface cables.
Spock, what kind of interface is this?
A A bridge unit for use between function control and display circuitry, Captain. It could be helpful to have.
Spock, what do you make of the screen?
This is a computer display module, Captain. This is a very specialized pressure device, Captain. These badges go into this hopper and will be combined under pressure with an item placed in the other hopper.
Well, I think it looks like a button maker. Can it make me a badge that says if man was meant to transport, his atoms would already be scattered?
Possibly, Doctor. But after pressure application, it would be unlikely you would be capable of reading much.
You're not a lot of fun, Spock.
I did not realize that was part of my job requirement, Doctor. Is it part of yours?
At times like this, yes.
The badges have been placed into the hopper, Captain. The batteries have been placed into the device.
You know, it does look a little like a button maker.
What is that smell?
There was a chemical change due to the pressure. That is simply a small amount of outgassing from the plastic. Readings indicate that this is connected to a rather sophisticated projection system. I cannot get more detailed data. An energy field is interfering with the tricorder. This device transforms its internal energy into useful quantities for other portable devices. The transfer takes place at the small outlet junction located near the center of the unit.
So what is that in English, you pointed-eared confusion factory?
In English, it remains exactly as I said. However, for those unskilled in the language, this is a battery charger.
For once, why can't you just come up with a simple explanation first?
It's not always necessary, Doctor. You are not always around.
What is it with you two? You're like children. I'm getting tired of it. Why am I snapping at you?
The badges change color.
I believe the units are now fully operational.
Hopefully these badges will help us with some of these force fields. We should each keep one of them with us while we're here.
This is a computer control panel, Captain. It appears to have some control over other parts of the compound.
Spock is feeling invigorated by these surroundings. A large computer and display screen.
I was examining that computer, Captain. Very interesting. The computer has an exceedingly large display screen. There are several conclusions.
What conclusions, Spock?
One, the individuals for whom this equipment was built have substandard vision. Two, the users have quite long arms or manipulative extremities and have to work a considerable distance away from the console and screen. Three, the large screen and lack of anything else in the room could mean it was expected that more than one individual would be viewing the display.
Computer, are you on? Maybe I'm not the man for this particular job. No, I don't think that's necessary.
This console is non-operational, Captain. However, I do believe the repair would be a simple matter given the right materials. There are essentially no controls or displays available at this time. The computer is now functional. Fascinating. There's only a limited amount of control available on this console. I believe there are other functions it controls, but these functions cannot be accessed.
I'm not sure I understand, Spock.
Nor I, Captain. What purpose would be served by limiting access?
What purpose indeed? Bones, any ideas?
Why are you asking me? Is this some kind of pop quiz?
Two other things, Captain. There is a reference in the limited readout which leads me to believe there are other complexes on the planet somehow connected with this one. Location and function are not specified or available.
That's only one, Spock.
True, Captain. I was just waiting to see if you had any comments.
Not that I'd like to share at this moment, Mr. Spock, please.
There is one other repair that is possible. One device can be controlled from this console if its command circuit is replaced. I will not be able to determine what device that is until the replacement circuit is installed. It is now possible for me to shut down a force field at some other location. I do not know where or what the force field protects.
Yes, I'm getting tired of force fields. One less will be a pleasure no matter what it does. No, let's look around a bit more first. Yes, I'm getting tired of...
Captain, my attempt to turn off the force field has triggered some sort of computer activity. It is requesting that I allow some sort of display to occur on the screen. Shall I allow it?
I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's wait. By all means, Spock. Curiosity may kill cats, but I'm hoping humans will fare a little better. I don't know if that's a good idea. By all means, Spock. Curiosity may kill cats, but I'm hoping humans will fare a little better.
That's comforting, Jim.
It appears we have chosen correctly, Captain. The controls indicate that the force field has been dropped. Fascinating. This device siphons material from the other unit by way of the pipe overhead. It possesses the ability to move a substantial amount of material. Most interesting is that the material can be jettisoned up out of these caves into the ecosystem of the planet. It may be that the material in the vat is dangerous, and the builders wished to protect this complex from contamination.
But they didn't care about the planet, did they?
Apparently not the primary concern.
Tell that to the Balcos.
According to the studies from the Demeter, the Balcosi would not recognize speech.
I believe Bones was speaking figuratively, Spock.
There is presently no means by which to shut off this release. The unit is set to discharge, and the control switch has been removed.
Removed? Could it be the builders were not afraid the complex would be contaminated, but were instead afraid the ecosystem would be in trouble if the contents of the vat were not discharged?
Interesting hypothesis, Captain. Difficult to do more than speculate at this time.
Save new game. Replace previous game.
a high-protein bacteria mixed with some sort of pheromone-style compound. I don't know what effects the pheromone would have on our physiology. I would need to take a sample back to the lab on the Enterprise to conduct a study. Now this is more like it, a medical examination table. I'd know one of these even if it is made for an alien.
Captain, given the nature of the electronics inside, I can deduce that it is a synthesizer replicator unit. However, it is unlike anything used by the Federation. I am unable to determine its exact capabilities.
Jim, I'm picking up traces of cells from a Balcosian. There are also traces of some designer cells. It looks like someone is playing a dangerous game with the Balcosi.
Internal structure hidden by force field effects. The uncovered areas consist of a pair of unknown vents and a solid inclined drop chute.
The creature looks at you quizzically and gibbers for a moment.
They look peaceful enough, Jim.
We should be able to gain valuable data studying the Balcosi. Captain, I will attempt to restrain the Balcosian when he stops to eat. The nerve bundle seemed quite thick. My assumption is that the Balcosian is unharmed, but will remain unconscious for a considerable time.
Jim, I'd like to take him to the medical examination room next door. I want to know what that gas is doing to him.
Not a bad idea, Bones.
My God, look at these readings. Everything's elevated. Small wonder that the Balcosi are in turmoil. Every aggression-related hormone in this guy's body is working overtime.
What's causing it, Bones?
That little hiss of air was loaded with pheromones, Jim. The creature inhaled them and immediately went into overload.
This must happen at random intervals when they collect the food.
I hate to sound like Spock, but there's more, and it's pretty fascinating. Also horrifying. The pheromone is perfectly tuned to the Balcosian physiology. It's like somebody genetically engineered both.
Didn't the Demeter report say there weren't enough records showing the Balcosian presence on the planet? Could they have been put here on purpose?
It is possible we have stumbled in on an experiment, Captain.
With the subjects being treated like rats, it's criminal, Jim. These can be thinking beings.
I'm not certain it is the Balcosi that are the subjects, Bone. I think it is us.
Interesting hypothesis, Captain. What is your supporting data?
It's the way all of this is set up, Spock. I can't put my finger on it, but it just feels so set up. We keep finding out just enough to make choices. The real question is who? Who's doing this to us?
And to what purpose, Captain? Why?
Why indeed, Spock. Why indeed.
Save, nuke, replace.
This thing is just full of that pheromone gem. We have to be careful. It could ruin the entire planet for the Balcosi. We would condemn them to a world filled with brutal violence. It would be genocide.
There is little that can be done unless the unit is repaired. Assuming the appropriate signal is received, this unit can be shut down safely. The shutdown signal does not originate here. It is a powerful transmitter, unlike anything in Starfleet records. It appears to be a detection device. Judging by the complexity of its circuitry, I would gather that it is quite sensitive. It is a scanner with both long-range and detailed capabilities. The energy generated from inside this unit is definitely causing the problems in communicating with the Enterprise. It will undoubtedly block any attempt at transporter lock-on also. Captain, this appears to be a mass storage device. The tricorder cannot tell what information it holds. An interesting place, Captain. There seems to be a reason for it beyond the obvious. Captain, there's a small display active. It appears that this device is a memory unit, an archive. Most amazing. The information is in volatile memory. If power were lost to this device, all information contained within would be lost. An odd way to create an archive.
What is in the archive?
The displays indicate it contains a vast amount of data on three-dimensional projection. Circuitry diagrams, equipment construction techniques. Essentially, everything needed to project lifelike images in great detail inside of a structure. Starfleet does not have this level of technology. This would be a major find for the Federation.
Then I'd think that gathering that data would be a very good thing to do, Mr. Spock.
Very well, Captain. Captain, the display indicates that the best view of the projection will be from the south side of the room.
Well, gentlemen?
Anyone got popcorn?
Bones. Impressive, Spock.
Captain, I'm not responsible for that occurrence. However, I did discover that accessing the memory will not only trigger the shutdown of this unit, it will also send a signal to another device, most likely one somewhere in this complex. Damaging the unit will also initiate shutdown and signal transmission.
There's no way around it?
None, Captain.
What is this, some kind of idiotic test? Don't fool with that, Spock. You'll poison this planet and make these inhabitants permanently aggressive.
Doctor, you do not know for certain that whoever placed the Balcosi here did not intend for that to happen. The aggressiveness may be what they need to develop further. And the information in the archive is a reward for sending the Balcosi into the next stage of their development.
You just want to get your Vulcan fingers on that precious scientific information. More like 30 pieces of silver for condemning the Balcosi to the lives of violence. Jim, you can't let this unfeeling monster do this to the Balcosi.
Do you wish me to continue attempting to access the archive, Captain?
Yes, Spock. That information could be critical to the Federation. Let's hold off until we get a little more information. Yes, Spock. That information could be critical to the Federation. Let's hold off until we get a little more information.
Save new game. Replace.
This generator may be providing power for more than just this complex. It is broadcasting power, which is causing the interference in communications with the Enterprise. I cannot tell for certain if there are receiving units for this power, because some of the readout circuits are damaged. Fascinating.
What is fascinating this time, Spock? I doubt it's fascinating to either Bones or myself, but I'm sure that won't stop you from telling us.
You tell him, Jim, I'm getting sick of this alien smarter-than-thou attitude.
If either of you had an ounce of logic, you would be more prepared to listen to my information, and possibly even understand it.
Bordering on insubordination, aren't we, Mr. Spock?
I always knew that no emotion garbage was just a cover. He thinks he should be in charge.
Mr. Spock, I'll have those findings from you right now.
Captain, it appears the circuit was deliberately damaged. This would only be possible if the force field were down. Who would damage their own machinery? And for what purpose?
More and more curious, Mr. Spock.
Also, Captain, I am able to determine that if power is interrupted rather than shut down from this console, it will send a signal to that effect. The signal will trigger some other event. I do not know what the event will be. The readout is now fully functional. There are other locations on this planet receiving power from this generator. Most peculiar. The locations of these units are not in the database.
And you think they should be?
It would be logical, Captain. But removing the circuit that controls the on and off functions of this device would also be illogical.
Are you trying to tell me that's what happened here?
Exactly, Captain. Until that repair is made, it would be impossible to execute a proper shutdown procedure.
Readings slightly elevated.
You seem healthy. Wonder why it's doing that.
The repair is complete, Captain. It would now be possible to safely shut this machine down. However, doing so would certainly affect all the other equipment in this complex.
Save new game. Replace.
Captain, do you wish me to start the shutdown sequence on the generator?
Let's hold off on that for now, Spock. Shut it down, Spock. Let's hold off. Shut it down, Spock.
Well, that ends that threat. Balcosi can rest peacefully tonight and from now on.
It is still a trying time in their development, Doctor.
Think of it as an adventure, Spock. Scotty, 3 to beam up.
Captain, the power source has completed its shutdown cycle. There is no trace of the bacteria or pheromone in the atmosphere. It would appear the Balcosi are free to choose their own future.
Good to hear, Spock. I know losing a find like that archive has to hurt.
That would be an emotional response.
Of course it would. How silly of me.
Captain, there are 2 signals being broadcast from the planet. The first is another burst following the same path as the original broadcast. The other signal emanates from nearby the first. It's aimed at us, Captain. Message from Starfleet, Captain.
On screen, Lieutenant.
Interesting report, Jim. I think you were right to release the Balcosi from outside influence. Too bad you couldn't retrieve the archive. No one at Starfleet has any idea who was behind all this, or what the testing message was all about. Keep us informed as you find out more. I've got confidence in you, Jim.
I've reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. I am very pleased with your performance. It was a perfect mission, Jim. Your reputation as Starfleet's best starship captain is secure. Kane out.